Good afternoon from Portugal. My name is Carlos. I'm the head of marketing at Collab. I have with me today Pedro Lourenço, who is a business director for Dynamics at Microsoft. And also I have Gonçalo Tomaz, my colleague from the pre-sales team. So good afternoon, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Carlos.
All right.
Hello.
Okay, cool. So I'll just do a quick introduction, and then I will pass the screen and the microphone to Pedro. First of all, as you already know, we take connectivity and CRM integration very seriously. We have been doing connectors since the early days at Collab. We have, as of now, I would say 4 major CRM connectors. One of them is Microsoft Dynamics. I will not mention the other 3 out of respect to the Microsoft guys here. We will be focusing this session today exclusively on what we can do with this Microsoft partnership. We have been working together with Microsoft for quite some time. As you know, our public cloud is also fully based on the Azure stack, on the Azure cloud. And perhaps you have already seen our webinar about cognitive services, where we took speech analytics and sentiment analysis to a new level. So this is another part of this series of webinars that we are doing jointly with Microsoft. The topic today is about how we can automate part of your daily interactions with your end customers, and how this automation can in fact boost customer engagement. And the layer that is going to leverage this is going to be Microsoft Dynamics, which is positioning more and more as a low-code platform that it can be used for all of these kinds of new developments. So I don't want to steal the show to Pedro. I will be passing the session to Pedro just to give you a flow of how we're going to do this. So Pedro has a small PowerPoint presentation to set the stage, and then Gonçalo will kick off with a live demo of what we have today, and then we open the discussion on what we can do either with the product that we have today, either with product advancement features, what we call PAFs, or professional services, or even with the capabilities of our partners. So I see many partners on the call. Don't feel shy if you want to share your maybe some developments or some interesting case that you might have, customer case, share with us at any time. I will be moderating and taking your questions along the way. Okay, thank you. Pedro, go ahead.
Thank you, Carlos. I will be just turning off the video just in terms of quality of the presentation. So allow me just to shut the video and to share my screen. Okay, just confirm me that you are seeing the screen, Carlos, please.
Yep, everything is okay. Sorry, everything okay.
So thank you all. Thank you first to Collab for the invitation. So my name is Pedro Lourenço. I'm managing the business application area at Microsoft Portugal. I will be speaking today a little bit about how automation can improve customer experience, and I will be focusing on the Microsoft example, on what we have been doing on this area of automating our customer relationship, and how are we helping our customer service agencies, but also our sales team to improve their ability to interact with customers. So, in starting, I will make just a brief introduction of how are we seeing the automation, and then I will enter in specific examples of how we are doing it at Microsoft. This image, it can remember some of the past that we had. So this is not our new reality that we have today. So our colleagues, the majority of them are not in rooms. They are not together. They are not in this type of if you want assets. and all of us, basically, we are in the remote world, in the remote everything. And this is a good example. So the remote events that we are seeing happening, but also the remote selling, the remote learning that we are seeing at our homes, it's a reality that we are facing. All of us, we need to adapt. But with that, what we see that is happening is that the amount of data that is being published and is being available is immense. And these data allow us to, hypothetically, to manage better our customer experience and improve our customer relationship in every interaction that we have. At least that should be the goal of this data and the way that we are using the data and leverage that data. So just to in the Microsoft perspective, what we are seeing is that the amount of data that is being produced, we are not able to manage it. So we are not able to leverage the data and try to bring that data and improve the quality of service or improve the lead management that we are doing or the marketing that we are doing. So what we are seeing is that although we have a lot of data, we are not able to manage that data, and we are not able to manage in time. So the notion of time as of today, it's very different from the past. So the fact that the majority of our customers and partners have the ability to move with just one click and change customer with just one click or change brand with just one click, the notion of time becomes more important. So the ability of what we are doing with data in time, it's much more important today than it was in the past. It was always important, but I believe that as of today, it's much more important because the level of interaction that you have with customers, it's much lower as of today because we don't have the personal relationship so strong at this point in time, in the moment that we are living, and we need to use technology tools like we are using now to leverage not only the data, but also to be able to create empathy with the customers, with the partners, with everyone that we are trying to interact. So this notion of not only the quantity of data, but also the time that we have to execute it, it's very important. And that's why we think that automation should be for everyone. As Carlos was mentioning, what we are doing with the platform today is democratizing the access to business process automation. So our goal is to be, everyone can be able to produce the process or develop the process without having to know any code. So to be able to do that without having to be a code developer or something like that. So what we aim is to democratize the access to automation and to be able to automate business process with drag and drop. So that's the goal, and I will be talking a little bit about that. So in McKinsey, one of the reports that I was looking for this presentation is one of the things that they say is that half of the things that we are doing as work activities of today, they can be automated. So, and one of the areas that we have a huge potential for automation is when we are collecting and processing data. So that's one of the areas where McKinsey see that is a huge opportunity to improve not only the quality of the data, but also the quality of the processes and the quality of the interactions that we are driving. And saying that, what we are trying to do at Microsoft with our technology is above all to empower everyone to focus on what's matter for them, and not in so much in routine tasks. And we all know that we all are doing some of the routine tasks. What we see is that the human being has the potential and has the creativity and should not waste time in doing repetitive tasks. So it shouldn't be wasting time in routine tasks. That's where we think that automation can improve and can bring some benefits to partners, to customers, and even to our companies. And starting with the example from Microsoft, so what I will be sharing is a concrete example from what we are doing now with our platforms. How are we integrating? How are we leveraging the cloud? How are we leveraging the integration of artificial intelligence inside of the business process applications. That's what I will be talking about. It's 6 points that we are leveraging, and starting with the first one, that it's about communication. That's where we think everything starts. The ability to have a platform that it's simple, it's intuitive to use, it's integrated with our own ecosystem. It's integrated also with our daily work. So I have a clear view of what I need to do in the daily basis, and I have it in a single window, and have the ability also to interact and to communicate and also to collaborate with the team, but also to have a more, if you want, a direct connection with customers, with partners, as we are doing, for instance, today, and have the ability to interact with those in the more seamless way, in the more, if you want, in the more simple way to interact. That's what we are doing. So we are leveraging the platform to interact not only with customers but also with partners, and try to make it the best of it. But also to help the teams to focus on what matters, as I mentioned previously. So the goal is to get the teams and get the times of the teams focused on what it matters, what they can bring impact. And that's why we have the productivity insights, where I can see how much time the teams are spending in the routine tasks, how much time they are spending interacting with customers or doing internal tasks. And that allows me to identify which are the bottlenecks and where should I invest my time to try to increase the productivity of my teams. And this is critical for us, because if we identify that some type of teams are not with or if we identify that we have a bottleneck and that team is losing time to do one task instead of being focusing in helping the customer, we should take care of that and help the team. Another area, it's the ability also to help the teams to understand how they are being perceived by the customers, and how in every single interaction that they have, being by phone, being by Teams, being by email, how are they being perceived by the customers? What type of sentiment is the customer having around the interactions that he's having with the team? But also what type of words is mostly used during the conversations, but also to help them to understand. And we all know that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than speak. But the fact is that having that in analytical part, or having that in analytical terms, and say to the seller or the customer service agents, telling that directly, so you are talking much more than the customers, and the best agents or the best sellers are doing this with much less time they are speaking. So you should invest much more time in listening to the customer. And also which are the best practices. So and identify which are the best practices in terms of words, and also in terms of, for instance, next steps that the agent should go after. And the seller itself can have this information in a very intuitive way, and it can analyze and try to improve the way that he's interacting. Also, in looking also to automation, the integration with LinkedIn, it's very important for us, because we are able to automate also this integration. And being, for instance, having an alert that someone from the team that we are working with, or with the customer that we are working with, that they change roles, or they add some changes in the LinkedIn, and be automatically informed of that, and also identify which is the best colleague that I have internally to help me to get in contact with the person that I want inside of this customer. So in terms of marketing interactions, also in terms of automation, what we are doing is the full integration from the omni-channel part, from the moment that the customer are interacting with us in terms of some content that the customers are consuming in the internet. And we are able to analyze that interactions and try to understand which is the topics that the customer are much willing to talk with us, and what should we do next. And also this is for the not only for the agents, but also for the sellers. What we have is what we call the daily recommender, that for every seller and for every customer service agents, what we have is that they have a daily recommender of what should they be doing during the day, and what are the priority tasks that they should go after. And this, as you can imagine, what we are doing again is trying to introduce data, analyze the data, and giving the information to the teams, saying that they should focus in what matters and not in trying to go after other type of information. So we are trying to put all the information in a single point that the teams are able to leverage it. Then in terms of the what we call the next best action is to ensure that the team is able not only to look to the customer and, for instance, to have a very clear view in terms of lead scoring, what they are doing. This is an example for sales, but we have it exactly for the customer insight scoring, so trying to understand which is the perception that the customer is having regarding the customer service. But also here saying that what we're trying to do is again simplify the interaction that our teams have with the technology, to have everything integrated in a very simple way, very look-like Outlook, as you can see, that everyone knows, trying to take part also of that knowledge that the team have of using Outlook, of using Teams, but also in integration. And this is the example of integration with Collab, have a direct integration also to be able to make the call for the customer and have that recording, and then be able to analyze that information. It's also very relevant for us. And also the email follow-up. Of course, we are talking about Microsoft platform, so everything is integrated from the email, from the Azure, from the solutions that partners are developing, and of course, also for Dynamics 365. So this is the view that we have internally. That's what we are leveraging. That's what we are doing to improve our customer experience. So we are ensuring that our teams are focusing on taking care of the customer with the best data possible, with the best information, with information in time, and not losing time trying to look for more information, trying to proceed with routine tasks. So what we are doing is automating the relationship between, if you want, the seller or the agent and the information. So what we want is that the seller, when he starts in the morning working, he has all the information that he needs. He has the daily recommender saying that this is what you need to do. This is the priorities that you have. Try to focus on this because this is what matters for our customers. So, and this is in resume what we are doing. You have more information here, and I hope I didn't pass the time. So thank you, Collab. Thank you, everyone. In here, you have my QR code for LinkedIn. So keen to speak with you and to clarify any doubts that you have. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pedro. Perfect. Yeah, we opened the stage for questions, and we also passed the screen to Gonçalo, while Gonçalo is going to share one of our live demos, in this case, our integration with Dynamics. Gonçalo, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
So, just a second.
So just as a funny comment, we have a demonstration environment at Collab. Our demonstration environment is a virtual travel operator. It's called Pandair Travel. And when the pandemic started, we had a large set of ongoing discussions on how our example of a travel company was terrible at this time of a pandemic. So nobody's traveling. Why are we showcasing a demo of a travel company? But the fact is that we decided to keep it. And to be quite honest, I see a lot of pickup again on the desire of travel. Okay, so I think we did good on keeping the same metaphor alive, and Gonçalo is going to share with you, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm eager to start vacations somewhere. Gonçalo, go ahead.
Correct. Thank you for the introduction, Carlos. So basically, what we are looking at right now is Pandair Travel, and this is our fictional travel company of Collab, where our customers can engage with the page and look for relevant destination information. And if they have any queries about their next trip, they can engage directly with someone over on the contact center platform. Okay. So in this scenario, what we are going to look at is a customer that would like to engage with someone from the Pandair Travel Company, and they would like to engage via voice, also via chat, and via email. Okay, so 3 different omni-channels. And our main idea here is bringing this into the Dynamics department. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick peek and a quick overview before we jump into the communication itself, so that it's easier for you to understand what's going on. So when the customer enters in its customer journey, be it via video, via voice, via chat, via email, we can design the full customer journey from cradle to the grave. So this means that we can create a very customized flow with integration with external systems, with integration with the Dynamics. We can create self-service IVRs, self-service visual IVRs, add bots, add natural language processing, and all of that. But at the end of the day, if the customer would still like to speak with a real human agent, they can do so, okay? And they are then transferred to a live human agent. And when this live human agent receives said interaction from the customer, it's important that this agent has a general overview about this particular customer. And therefore, we are looking at 2 different types of data in here, okay? So on one hand, we have operational data, which is produced by the contact center itself. And this is where Collab comes into place. So we know that a specific customer called in today, sent an email yesterday, and made a chat session 2 days ago. However, we know that a phone call came from a particular number. We also know that the email came from a specific address, and that there was another different identifier from the chat. What we don't know is that these 3 contacts belong to the same person, nor do we know if these 3 contacts are about the same request or if they are completely different requests, okay? So this is where business data comes into place. So our main goal here at Collab in this integration is to provide all of the operational data so that the business application, which is Microsoft Dynamics, can contextualize the customer, okay? Following this train of thought, what we are looking at right now is Microsoft Dynamics integrated with Collab One Agent, okay? So what we are looking at here is on the left-hand side, we have our normal Dynamics workflow where we can scroll throughout the dashboards, consult activities, consult accounts, check our contacts, analyze any ongoing cases that we might have in our system, okay? And over the right-hand side, we have our dedicated agent integration, okay? So we are integrated with Microsoft Dynamics. This is an off-the-shelf connector that's available in our standard offer. And what we are doing is every time a new call, a new email, a new chat, new interaction arrives, we get that interaction in here, and then it contextualizes our customer and brings relevant information, okay? So let's imagine that we have a customer that's here on the Pandair Travel webpage, and that he would like to engage with the contact center to book his next trip, okay? So we can start off this communication with a phone call. I already clicked here in our click to call button, which can be embedded into any website. I inputted my phone number, which will be my identifier in this particular case. I hit the call button, okay? And now we wait a few moments to receive a response, okay?
Welcome to our contact center.
I believe you are listening to my IVR. Just going to try to raise the volume.
Yep, we can listen far away.
So I'm going to press 3 because in this scenario, I'm logged on into a Dynamics campaign. And now we can see the call coming in on this side, okay? So I'm just going to mute my speakers because of the echo that will show up. And now I can answer the call, okay? When I answer this particular call, what happens is that the system, Dynamics, and the integration with Collab will look for an existing registered customer on the Dynamics database. If this customer exists, and in this particular case, I am an existing customer, and that's why you are seeing my full info contextualized in here. So you can see my customer name, you can see my previous timeline activities. So these are previous engagements that my customer has had with an agent, okay? You can also check my email and other relevant data, okay? So again, this is business information. I also have the historical data of previous interactions, which is the operational information that we are feeding into the business application, okay? And I am able to consult previous interactions should I want to, okay? On the right-hand side, I still have my normal contact center agent controls. So I can put the customer on hold, I can control the recording, I can put this customer on a shelf, I can hang up the call, I can even consult some KPIs of my own, so I can see the total handled interactions since midnight, my average talk time, how much time I still have to go on a break, okay? So I can do all of that and still be able to navigate my normal workflow in terms of business data operation inside of Dynamics. So let's imagine that now my customer has concluded his request, and it's a new travel request. He would like to travel to a beautiful city like Lisbon, okay? So now we can hang up this call, okay? And now we can give it a business outcome, okay? So let's say that this was a reservation and it was a hotel reservation, okay? And now we can terminate our session and we are available to proceed with a next call or with the next email or with the next chat that's sitting on the queue. So after I terminate my session and after I become ready again, what you are looking at is a summary of the call that we just had, okay? So this essentially concludes our task, okay, in our case inside of Microsoft Dynamics about this particular call. So I get all of the operational data in here, like the direction of the call, from which number was used by the customer to dial in, who was the customer, who was the agent. Also, we have an access to the recording file, okay? So should I want to play this, I have in here a widget or I have a dedicated recording link that I can open up on a different tab if I have, obviously, the proper role to access it and reproduce the recording, okay? After I'm done with this, I can simply save this session, close it, and wait for my next interaction, okay? So let's go back here to our dashboards and let's engage with a different media, okay? So now the customer has another question that you would like to ask, like is there a mini bar inside my hotel room? So let's imagine that he wants to ask this via chat, okay? So we are here on the page, we click on the click to chat button, we open up in here our chat options, and again, all I need to do is, in this particular case, I'm going to select my own chat. I can give myself a name, so let's use my initials, GT. Again, I can use my phone number to engage in here on this particular chat. And I am going to place a question. Is there a mini bar on the hotel room? Okay, so I can now click the start chat button, okay? Wait for a few seconds. You can see in here some informational messages that show up. And on this side, I have a new interaction coming in, okay? So again, I was able to consult and to contextualize who the customer is because I identified myself as an existing customer. If I was not existent, I was able to create a new contact or able to search for an existing one because it's very often that some of our contacts dial from the general phone number of their employees, okay? So that happens, and you might want to validate who the customer is. But regarding this particular chat session, we can see previous interactions with this customer, okay? Previous chat interactions. Now we can see in here the question that the customer popped to us. So is there a mini bar on the hotel room? And we can say, yes, there is a mini bar filled with replicas, okay? Now we could even send and share a few emojis here with our customer, okay? Alternatively, we could select some pre-defined responses via different chat templates, okay? Or we could add different annexes in here to this chat and share them with the customer. On the customer end, this is a normal threaded conversation, okay? So a normal chat session, threaded conversation. And after we are done with this interaction, we can pretty much get back in here to our home, terminate this chat interaction, give it again a business outcome. So this still has to do with our hotel reservation. We can now terminate the session, okay? And again, we get a summary or a resume of our interaction with this particular customer. So again, we have date, we have time, we have direction, we have the identifier of the customer, we have our widget here with the recording of this particular session, and we are pretty much ready to roll on a different other interaction, okay? So let's save and close this and wait for our next interaction. So now the customer would like to know if he can take his pet with him to his next hotel destination, okay? So let's imagine that now you would like to send this via email, okay? So I already have in here an email that's written with the customer posing a question saying, is it possible to take my pet with me? So I'm just going to hit send and wait for the email to arrive in our contact center. This sometimes is very quick, sometimes it takes a few more seconds depending on the route that it takes around the world. Okay, and here we have the email coming in. We accept the email, okay? And because of the sizing of the email and for easier context of everything that's written, we are opening the email body on a separate tab, okay? So this is easier on the eyes of the agent who is receiving this information, and so that obviously he can then respond in a full-blown email editor. On this side, we still have the customer being contextualized because obviously my email address is associated here with my contact, and I have the different options for the response to this interaction, which includes a reply to all, forward the email, transfer the email, okay? So should I want to, I can click here on the reply to all, and now it opens up my email editor, okay? And I can respond back to the customer and tell him, yes, you can take your dog with you. Follow the instructions below. And then we can come over here and select like a message template. For instance, we have here a pet-friendly policy to inform traveling customers to take the pet with them. We can also select a signature, and these are dynamic signatures, okay? So I can grab my name, I can grab the campaign name, I can grab different types of information dynamically to insert here into our body of our email response. Then all I need to do is just hit send, okay? And the email response is sent back to the customer, okay? Now, if I want to finalize this, I could open up here a new case inside of Microsoft Dynamics, okay? Or proceed with an existing ongoing case. Otherwise, I can simply close the email, okay? And terminate this with reservations hotel or support. This was, I don't know, a lost hotel ticket or lost flight, so something that I want to classify this interaction with, okay? And at the end of the email, I still get my resume for the email, so general contextual information about this email, and I get the full history with the original email that was received from the customer and with the response that was sent, okay? So this was just a quick overview about our integration with Microsoft Dynamics. Our main goal in here is to feed as much info as possible inside the Dynamics CRM to allow better decisions by the customer service representatives when they are handling with different omni-channel contacts, okay? Back to you, Carlos.
Okay. So thank you very much, Gonçalo and Pedro, for your interventions. I think this was a very thorough demo on what we can do. I don't know if some of our attendees have any questions for us. Maybe then I can close with some final remarks. So I have one question coming up from Bruce. Hi, Bruce. Question is, let me also pass the microphone to Bruce. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, selecting Bruce from my list of attendees, scrolling down. Where is Bruce? Here he is. Okay, Bruce, you can talk now. Okay, let's see if you can hear us or not. You have
Hello?
to. Hello.
Hi, Carlos. Yes, I mean, I'm just asking a couple of questions that we typically get in these kind of scenarios. And the one is, are you able to handle 2 chats at once? You know, sometimes people can be very slow on chat and you might want to take a second one. Does the integration cater for that?
Okay, so let me give you first a general response. Okay, so the general response is that on the contact center system, as you are aware, you can respond to 2 simultaneous interactions or more, depending on the configuration that you have regarding to your agents. In this particular integration that we have with Microsoft Dynamics, it is currently not available to handle more than 1 interaction at once. Having said this, it will be possible very soon. Okay, so this is the way that we integrate with this version of Dynamics, only supported 1 interaction at a time. In the meantime, Microsoft released a new version of this connector to allow us to expand this to multi-session types of interactions. So this means that in the very near future, we will be having a new connector ready for multi-sessions. Okay, so this is fairly new, this new opportunity that we have, and it will be possible to handle 2 chats at once and an email, or having a phone call and 2 chats simultaneously. Okay.
Okay, and I think Bruce had another question, or okay?
Well, I think it's really, you've probably answered it, but are you able to interrupt an email with a voice call? And I guess you can't do that now, but you're planning to be able to do that at some point.
The part of interruption that has to do with our default workflow of the agent. So usually the way that we receive interactions on the agent part comes in as a non-demand type of task. So if I am busy on a phone call, I can, and if I think that I am able to handle an email simultaneously with that call or with a chat, it is possible to ask for another interaction. Okay, but this is always from a non-demand perspective. Okay, it must be the agent to tell the system, I am able to receive more interactions, and this can be any type of interaction. Okay, chat, email, voice, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Cheers, Bruce. We also have a question from Olivier. I gave you speaking permissions, Olivier.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. Hello.
Sorry, just one question about the capability to do a drag and drop on the email response interface.
Sorry?
The question is if we can drag and drop files in the email interface.
Yeah,
yes.
attached file.
Yes, it is possible. Okay, so our email editor supports drag and drop, supports copy paste on the email response. So when you are sending a response, it is possible to drag a file to edit as an annex. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I don't know if there are any further questions. Please don't be shy. In the meantime, also a comment that as Gonçalo touched, we have been winning several projects that integrate with the Dynamics. So we are, as of 2020, I would say doing much more than ever Dynamics integration projects. So the Dynamics connector has entered our spotlight in terms of R&D, roadmap, product advancement features, and so on. So you can hope for a lot of new features, like Gonçalo mentioned, in a very short period of time, also due to commitments that we have already made with these ongoing projects, okay? So I think this is also one of the reasons why we decided to take this webinar, is to get some feedback from the partner ecosystem, and also to tell you firsthand that we have this today. We are taking this even further. We have Microsoft on the car with us. We are driving this further together. Okay, I also have a question from Miguel Garcia. Let me also give the microphone to Miguel. Hello, Miguel. Can you hear me? Maybe you are on mute. Hello, Miguel. Let me unmute you. Or maybe, I don't know if Miguel has a microphone. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
It's Victor from Mexico.
Hello, Victor. How are you?
Hello. Fine.
Hello.
My question is only about the link on Microsoft Dynamics. There is a link of audio recording, right? So this link is only the audio file is still on Nubitalk storage, or this is a link on Dynamics storage?
No,
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So in this particular case, all of the recordings are still kept. In case of the voice, they are kept in our Nubitalk cloud, so in our systems, and they are protected and encrypted. Regarding the chat, the same is also true. Regarding the emails are stored, okay, even though they are being accessed throughout our Nubitalk cloud, but the emails are stored on their original email servers, okay?
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, and as you know, so as I mentioned in the beginning, our Nubitalk platform is hosted on Microsoft Azure, okay? All right, I don't know if you guys have any further questions or not. We also have a marketing sales kit concerning the Dynamics connector. So my team has developed a PDF and also a video. When we send out the recording to you, the webinar recording, we will send the link for you to use these materials, the flyer and the video. We also have a couple of PowerPoint slides that you guys can use to resell this. Should you need our help from the marketing team to co-brand these materials, again, don't be shy, just ask for help and we can give you both the video in an open format or the PDF, or even do some customizations for you guys, okay? So yeah, on my side, that's it. Once again, stay safe, guys. Thank you very much. And if there are no other questions, I will be closing this. Thank you. Have a great afternoon all. Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.